Hello traders, and thanks for joining us on this demo video of the Lifestyle Trader Professional software. My name's Omar Westerberg with Lifestyle Trader, and this video is dedicated to just going over the entire software suite at a broad level so you can get a basic understanding of how it works and how you could potentially use it with your own trading and investing. Now please understand that before we go forward, we are not giving any personal financial advice. All examples are of general advice only. We do not consider your specific financial needs into consideration, and everything we're going through here should be considered as educational purposes only. We are going to be looking at the actual markets based on our system at this current point in time. This video was recorded on April the 1st, 2011, so please understand it's not meant to replicate the need or replace the need for professional financial advice. You'll still need to seek professional financial advice to determine if this is for you or not. So having said that, let's have a look at the software. I will bring that up here now, and you can see this is the main frame of everything, depending what you have access to. If you had everything, that's fine, or if you specifically wanted to focus on one area, you can do that as well. So let's have a look at the commodities markets first. So through commodities, let's click on, let's have a look at the popular crude oil. Crude oil is always in the medium, and when we select a contract here, simply select the highest number. That's the open interest of the futures contract to give us the most liquidity to trade on that contract. Now, if you're unsure on what these futures and that derivative and those terms mean, we actually teach you that and give you that education as a customer of our company and give you ongoing support with that, and teach you how to apply specifically risk and money management, so especially with derivative products, because there is a definite element of risk involved. So looking here, this is a chart of crude oil, and commodities in general is where Lifestyle Trader actually started many years ago. It initiated as a different company name in the USA and then ended up coming back to Australia with our founder, and since then birthed into Lifestyle Trader as we know it as a company. So what you're seeing, these charts here, has been highly optimized and started out in the commodity markets as a trend following method. And what that means is you want to get into a position and ride it out for as long as possible to let your profits run, so to speak, and you'll also need to consider the risk, and we incorporate what's known as a stop loss on every trade, which means that the risk on any position is always capped, and we need to make sure that all of our traders, investors do that to make sure that we limit the downside. So what you're looking at here, each of these columns is a day, so you're looking at a daily chart as indicated here, and the first two things that we need to identify is what we would do to get in and out of the market. And this is why Lifestyle Trader is different to many of the trading or investing companies that are available to retail investors, because we make it so dead simple. And the most successful investing, if you speak to successful traders and whatnot, they usually have a very simple method and apply relevant money management and risk management to be able to profit long term from the markets. And that's what we want our traders to do as well. So, having a look at the signals, we've got crude oil here. Down the bottom, we've got a lot of information which is relevant to each update. So current data would be the last update here, and historical data would be wherever my mouse is as I scroll across the screen with the crosshair. Now, looking at our signals, there are two main signals, entries and exits, or buys and sells, and we'll start with the sell signal. A sell, or going short. If you're not familiar with shorting the market, we'll teach you that through that education as well. So a short signal is where the red line will cross the green line here, where they've both crossed and they're pointing down. Now, this will benefit by a falling market, and then we would exit when the cross occurs again, as you can see here. So these dotted lines mean a little bit different. That's a different type of signal. But if we wanted to see if that trade made money, let's put our mouse here. You can see down the bottom right hand corner, the close of that was 103.92, and then had we exited on this day 101.85, you see that that price is less than where we got in, so it would have been a profitable position. Now, having entered this trade, we would have also had a stop loss based on this algorithm here, where you can see we use something called the average true range across the board, and we will have a long and a short stop that you can use to protect that position. Let's have a look at another popular one, which is gold. So let's bring the gold futures. Now, how did we select it here? Do you remember? We select the highest open interest. So let's bring up that chart. And you can see here we've got quite a bit of volatility happening in the gold lately at this time. It is hitting quite a, not new highs yet, but we're bouncing the high there. So currently, today, we actually had, at this time of recording, a long signal. You can see here, this is an indication of when we would get to the market. And simple as that. So you can know when to get in and out, and that's the whole idea of these charts. What the next part is putting the orders on and the money management. So how do we do that? Well, we actually have a dedicated live trading team and facilities to put on help you open a live trading account through Lifestyle Investor Services, who is our partner firm who provide insured and segregated trading accounts, and that's really important. So beyond the software here, the most important is protecting and the safety of your investments and your money, and that's why choosing the right type of account to actually do these transactions is super important. So visit lifestyleinvestorservices.com if you want to see information about the accounts and how to get started. But we actually teach you as a customer how to download and install your trading platform so that you can put on, say, gold futures like we're seeing here, buy and sell, put the stops on, how to calculate your risk, all of that kind of information that's vital to investing successfully for the long term. So you can see here we had a long signal. We had bottom right hand corner of the screen, if I hold my mouse on this bar, 1427.8, and had we got out here, this could have been a loser, one that lost 1421.3. so there you go, we would have actually had a loss on that position, either stopped out or closed out at the end of it. So, and that's part of trading. Trend following, you're not going to win every trade, but when you catch one of these that runs for a month, that usually makes up for quite a significant amount of the trades that didn't win. And let's have another look here quickly at something like Cocoa. So again, highest open interest. Wow, this is a good one. And so you can see here, writing this trend down, this is where the best signals are delivered. So this is most likely a profitable trade. I'm looking again at the bottom right hand corner, historical data 3633, and then we would have exited on this cross here at 3251. So what does that mean in a dollar profit or loss to you? Well, that completely depends, and the question, how much money would I make trading this, is a completely irrelevant question until you learn how to manage money and look at what's known as your lot sizing and how to evaluate your risk. And that's what we do when you're a customer, because just getting in and out of this is only the start. How you manage the money on the way through, how much you put on, how you protect the downside is where it's really going to come out in your favor. Commodity contracts or futures have designated amounts per point, and we'll teach you what that means. So depending how many contracts would depend on your profit and loss. So let's have a look, go across here to the Forex chart. So foreign exchange, that's the largest traded market in the world. We also have that very easily accessible on the 12 major pairs across the globe. Let's look at the Euro US, click on that. Again, the same style charts as you can see here. Now this is when you buy and sell currencies simultaneously to take advantage of their different values, and by a split second you can tell that the method in getting in and out is exactly the same. So a long signal we have here, and then we would have exited here. So if we have a look at bottom right hand corner of the screen, historical 13992. So if this price is higher, 14178, then that was a profitable trade over that almost 2-week period. And you're not going to win all of them by any means, especially when you have something, some choppy times like this. And through the education, we help you determine what the better times are and when to prevent getting into positions that are less likely to work for you. Okay, so these actual lines, what do they represent? So there's an accumulation of data in there. Now that's proprietary to the Lifestyle Trader company, as we wouldn't be able to provide it so simple if it wasn't their own research. So it's an accumulation of things, different calculations based on price, the different average amounts of price and what they're trading at, so between the open and the close, and various few different things in there. So we can give you more information as needed, but the best thing to do is understand how it works, and that's what we've got here, and how to use it and apply it and make it work for you. So some would say, is it a black box system, or is it something like that where it's automated? Not quite. See, how you make money through trading, investing, through, in my opinion, is through money management and how you actually approach the market overall. These signals here are just our indications of timing the market. And so if the market's going up, we get in here, and that's when we would then apply appropriate risk and money management to benefit the best of this up moving point. If it didn't work out, then that's why we have a stop loss in place as well. So you can see here, just by looking at these daily charts, that it wouldn't take long to be able to identify each day your trading opportunities. So I mean, if I booted up the system and updated, you can see the very last update is here. The cross is there, it's slightly up. This is the Euro USD. We have a long signal from here. So that took me about 4 seconds to understand that. And now what I would do is transfer that onto the brokerage platform, which we teach you how to use. And that's another set of software. It's not complicated to use. It just takes a bit of practice. And the best thing about it is we give you a simulator so you can practice risk-free and getting your expertise in placing trades. So what you would traditionally do over the phone with a full service broker and pay anywhere from $50 to $150 a trade, we teach you to do that in your own home for a very small amount, very small amount, which saves you so much. So it's very good practice to do that. It gives you control of your own finances and transactions. Okay, let's look at another one, the Aussie dollar, AUD USD. This is obviously in the news quite a lot, and you can see here it's been doing quite well. So we may or may not have taken this trade here, given the type of signal. We'll teach you what that is at a later stage, but have a look at this perfect signal here. This was long, going long in the market. So bottom right hand corner of the screen, 1.0063 was the close, and currently it is if I just move my mouse to the end of here, and the latest update 103.29, so up an approximate 300 pips on that trade. So what does that mean from a profit or loss to your standpoint? Well, again, it depends on how you manage the money, what lot size you put on, and that's what we teach you. See, depending how much money you have to invest with would depend how much you put onto these trades. We can't say you would make, you know, 1,000, 20,000 or lose 5,000, anything like that, because it completely depends on your own personal circumstance, on how much money that you have in your own account and how you manage that. So that would pose the question, well, how much money do I need? Well, it depends, again, what market you're trading. We teach you how to build a strategy around an appropriate market that is affordable to the amount of capital that you have to invest with. And that's the whole point of being a customer with us, is so that you can learn that for yourself. Now, commodities in general requires more capital than the other strategies that we have. Foreign exchange is quite flexible, okay, and options and ETFs, we'll get through to that shortly, but when I show you these, you'll understand why, and I'll give you some figures at the end, so to outline what would be required. Okay, so let's have a look now. You can see here there's many different currencies, and you'd simply update them as you go through whichever ones in your portfolio. So something like this, you wouldn't make much money on this trade here. You probably have a loss, 132, 145 to 130. So you probably would have been stopped out on that one, and that's what happens as well. So nothing unusual. You do transactions, you just want the winners to be bigger than the losers overall, and that's how we do it. So there's a certain element of management there that comes into place. Let's look at ETFs. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Funds. Basically what these are indexes based on custom contents. So as the Australian ASX 200 is in the top 200 shares in Australia, you can have an ETF, say, on 15 different companies, and you call it a specific ETF. That's how it works. And these are great because they're market averages. You can trade a whole lot of exposure to markets in one index. For example, I'm going to go into the growth sector here, and let's go to Australia, EWA. So what this is the ASX 200 in an ETF traded in the US. So in other words, if you have your entire superannuation in top 200 stocks and paying X amount % per year to the super fund managers and whatnot to do all of that, you can simply replace that for a very low fee in one fund just by putting it all into this one here. It does the exact same thing. So, well, not quite, but it gets to that simplicity, so we'll teach you about that as well. But first thing you'll notice is that this is a longer chart, monthly chart. This is a longer term investing approach through our ETF module, so if you're just wanting to go at a slower pace and probably more, manage your portfolio either a little bit an hour a week or a couple hours a month, this is what you can do here quite successfully. Commodities and Forex, you would want to update and be active on a daily basis, probably for about 30 minutes to an hour. In the beginning stages, you need to learn a bit, so you'd obviously have to put more effort into it at the start, but once you get going, it takes very little time as you get practiced and more experienced with trading and investing. So you can see here that this correctly, maybe not correctly is the incorrect term, but you can see accurately depicts the whole overall market movement. So this was at the end of 2008 and into 2009. We had a long signal on the markets through the recovery, and you can see here, bottom right hand corner of the screen, 1469, and had we got out at 21, we had, what's that, a 50% gain on the portfolio on the ASX 200, which is not too bad in that sense. So what's that to a dollar term? Well, these are quoted per share, so you can work that out. It's like tracking the stock market pretty simply. Now, different profit and losses across all the strategies here. You can see that had you gone in and out here, we would have had a bit of a loss. So had we entered long, this didn't actually confirm. Had we entered short here, 21.10, we would have got out at 23, so $2 loss, $2.50 loss, unless you've been stopped out prior. So you can see that, and this is over a 4 or 5 month period. So big gain, small loss, and again here, big gain. And there you can track it. Alright, so different areas, commodities. You can access gold through an ETF for a longer term, and it's price per share. So currently at 139.86 at the last update of this month. So 139 per share. Instead of buying futures or physical gold, you can access that market through an ETF, which is pretty cool. So the question probably comes up quite a lot, looking at these charts monthly, weekly, and daily. What's the success rate? What's the strike rate of winners to losers? And it all comes down to, it's not a black and white question that you can say this is what it is, depending on context that you use it. Overall, it's a trend following method. So you're going to find that you're going to have just as many winning trades as to losing trades from a strike rate or a probability percentage point of view. What you're going to find, though, is holding those trades for a longer time. The way we make money is that the trades that do win, we want them on average to win a lot more than the losing trades. And that's why money management is critical, that you have only a small amount of capital on each trade to be able to do transactions over time and profit from those transactions and opportunities in the market. So is it risky? Can you lose money? Well, absolutely. Any kind of investing and trading has a degree of risk. Where the risk is reduced is not by looking at our software, it's not by this specific system you're looking in front of you, it's the education in your mind that we teach you about risk and money management, and that's the whole purpose behind this. It's skills that you learn to apply for the rest of your life, not just do something on a daily basis for 6 months. Not quite. So please consider that as well. This is a long-term view. Alright, so let's have a look at options. Now, what are options? Options are another derivative product. They're based on stocks, and we do all our trading through the American markets, just simply from the risk to return point of view. I'm going to go through a bull-put spread just quickly. Now, options are more ideal for someone probably lower capital and more from a cash flow month-to-month point of view. We write options. So what that means is we can sell options. If you're not sure what an option is, we give you that through the education as well, and you will learn what to do there. So here we have all of these different trades that come up. Now, how it basically works is if I, let's right-click on this chart, I'm going to show you what's called a candlestick. Now, you can see here, I'm just taking any random one. First one that comes up, sold strike is $7.50, which is here. If I put my mouse at $7.50 approximate. How this works is, okay, when the option expires, which is usually 3 or 4 weeks time, third Friday of the month to be exact, we have a strike price of $7.50, and we are getting a combo price here of 45 cents. So as long as, if we do this trade, as long as this stock price is above $7.50 on the third Friday of the month, we will lock in profit of 45 cents per share. 100 shares to a contract, so it'll be $45 a contract. How many contracts do you want to put on? That's up to you and your money management, which will teach you there. So paper trading options is quite simple. You simply look at the sold strike price, and then on the third Friday of the month, see if the stock price is above that from a bull put spread point of view. Bear call spread, it would be the inverse. So that's how you can use this. Now, options require a larger degree of education to understand the fundamentals of how they work and what they are, though very, very effective. And I would say through our coaching programs, we have many people that are effectively using options to generate revenue every month in their trading accounts successfully. So it's a very, very effective way. So overall, what have we got? Commodities, Forex, stocks and options. We have the stocks to check the stock price for our options trading, and ETFs as well. So there's a lot here. Do we expect you to take it all in 30 days of checking out the software? No. All we want you to do is get familiar with it and have a look at, oh yeah, okay, I can access the Forex market, and these are the signals. You can see how simple it is to use, but it really comes down to the education behind it, which is what we teach you, and that's where the support that we provide ongoing is really, really relevant. If you wanted to have a look back at historical data, currently we only have this on our screen here, and that's on purpose, simply because past performance isn't really degree of future results. It's all about how you manage the money and take advantage of the opportunities. Overall, we do have statistical results that are in our favor across the board for these methods to be working. So that's certainly there as well, and we back that up by a refund policy when you come on board over given amount of time, that if it doesn't work for you, then I mean, we're happy, as long as it's adequate, we'll be happy to provide the funds back and say, well, it may not have been for you. But I mean, the best thing is to give it a go now and see what it is. The thing in here, you have to understand that this is a commitment to understanding and learning how to take advantage of financial education. That's what we are doing here. It's not simply about the software. So there's another point to it, and we've had many thousands of customers through our doors across the world, Australia, US, UK as well, and we've got many happy customers continually generating their own revenue through their trading, and that's what we want to provide for you as well. So it is a journey, and we're willing to take that with you. The first step, though, is just to check this out and see if it could be appropriate, and if it is, just give us a call and we'd be happy to work with you. We have all the tools that you need, education to move forward from here. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a demo, and if you do have more questions, just give us a call and we'll be happy to help you out. So happy trading, and we'll see you when you come on board.